Silence, not emptiness, not absence, not weakness, but a weapon, a force, a sanctuary, a strategy few understand and even fewer master. In a world addicted to noise, to opinions, to applause and validation, silence becomes the ultimate rebellion. While they're shouting to be seen, you're building in the dark. While they chase attention, you train in the shadows. They confuse silence with retreat, but they will learn that silence was your preparation, your rebirth, your power. There was a time when they hurt you, when they betrayed you, talked over you, dismissed you. They took your voice and turned it against you. They used your openness to break you, and you stayed silent. Not because you were weak, not because you didn't know what to say, but because you knew sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is to say nothing at all. Because silence is not giving up, it's not backing down, it's sharpening the blade. While they talked, you listened. While they posted, you planned. While they distracted themselves with noise, you committed yourself to stillness. You learned the language of your mind. You faced every demon without numbing the pain. You healed in silence. Because healing doesn't require witnesses. It requires will. It requires facing the parts of you the world tried to silence. It requires a different kind of strength. One that's forged when no one is clapping. One that blooms without sunlight. You didn't heal to prove anything to them. You didn't grow so you could scream, "Look at me." You did it because something inside you whispered, "Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them forget." But when you return in power. They thought your silence meant you were finished. They thought the absence of your voice meant you lost. But silence was never your ending. It was your incubation. You were building something far more dangerous than revenge. You were building self-mastery. Mastery over your thoughts. Mastery over your emotions. Mastery over your impulses. You see, the ones who can stay silent in chaos. Those are the ones who walk through storms without flinching. They don't react, they respond. They don't rage, they plan. They don't panic, they prepare. They don't need to tell the world what they're doing, because what they're doing is too powerful to explain. They'll ask, "Where have you been?" You won't answer. You'll show them with results, with your peace, with your discipline, with a version of you so focused, so sharp, they'll choke on every word they ever spoke against you. You'll walk into rooms and silence will follow. Not because you demanded respect, but because you earned it in the quiet hours. There's a violence to silence, a storm that brews behind calm eyes, 1,000 things you could have said but didn't. Not because they weren't true, but because they weren't worth your energy. They don't know what it took for you to get here. The tears, the silence, the nights you screamed into your pillow, the mornings you rose with swollen eyes and still showed up. They don't know, and they never will, because mastery is quiet. Excellence doesn't beg for applause. You stopped explaining yourself. You stopped defending your journey. You stopped needing permission. And now they feel it, the shift, the stillness before the quake, the cold confidence of someone who doesn't just believe, but knows they are becoming untouchable. You've walked through hell and came out silent, not because you have nothing to say, but because your silence speaks volumes. It tells them, I don't need to argue, I don't need to be seen, I don't need to convince, because what's coming will say it all. This is personal mastery. This is what happens when you no longer serve your emotions but command them, when you no longer chase approval but walk in your truth, when you no longer react to betrayal but transform it into fuel. Let them talk, let them laugh, let them assume, let them forget your name, because your silence, it's not the absence of sound. It's the presence of control. The quiet ones always win in the end, not because they scream the loudest, but because they strike when the world least expects it. So embrace it. Embrace the silence. Train in it. Grow in it. Let it become your edge, because when you return, you won't just be stronger, you'll be untouchable.